Dream League. Okay, so this is part 2. What we're going to do is go card by card like we did last time, starting with the grass types.
Yeah.
I figured after doing the last one, the thing that we needed here was the perspective of a 10-year-old. 11-year-old?
Mm-hmm. 10.
Yeah, here, I think you're being covered up by the microphone. Let's scoot you over a little bit. There we go. So, we got Vileplume GX. Oddish is a 60 hit point Pokemon. It heals 30. Probably won't ever use that. Gloom. Sleep Powder does 20 and puts the opponent to sleep for grass. And then Vileplume. Okay. So 240 hit points. That's pretty good. You've got once during your turn before you attack, you may heal 30 from each of your Pokemon. From each of your Pokemon.
That's cool.
That's pretty aggressive. Wow. So you have that guy. What's the guy? Alolan Rowlet.
Yeah.
Alolan Eggs and Rowlet. That'll help with the evolution thing and get them up. You know, basically turn 1, so turn 2 you can start healing already. That's pretty cool. Big Bloom for grass and a colorless does 180 minus 10 for each damage counter on the Pokemon already. And then Allergy Bomb GX is a grass, does 50 and then burns, poisons, and paralyzes them. Alright, so what are the good things about this card? Well, the retreat cost is pretty okay. That ability is ridiculous. Because again, it doesn't say grass Pokemon. So each of your Pokemon, it doesn't matter what type it is, you can just have it out there and it will heal. Plus it's got 240 hit points. So that's pretty stout.
It really is.
So, you know, I could see a Rowlet Eggs deck with this thing in it and being able to heal, and then you've got like a Great Potion and stuff like that. Okay, alright.
Slugma, not really too much interesting. Searing Flame, it's just burned and it costs 1 fire. But plus it has a pretty heavy retreat cost in my opinion.
Alright,
like,
so
for
that's
just a
bad.
basic.
So let's mark out the retreat cost. We don't like that.
Evolution. Stompbach, discard 2. Oh, welcome back, Moldex. Stompbach, discard 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck.
We've seen this in Fire before. What was the EX guy who had it?
Blaziken? No.
It's a dog.
Ah.
Didn't Houndoom EX have that same kind of thing? Yeah, it was like 170 hit points. It was a pain in the neck. So, how do we feel about that?
It's pretty decent actually.
The retreat cost is still heavy. It's only got 120 hit points, so that's not great.
This way.
Yeah, only costs 1 fire. That's possible.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good in my opinion. So I like it.
Could you see building a deck around this?
I could if you're into Moldex, but I'm not that type of person.
Alright, so for the Martin family, we're not going to buy these, is what we're saying?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to mark them
not
out.
really tech useful for us.
Alright, so Torkoal. He is a basic Pokemon, 110 hit points. Does for 1 fire, put 4 fire energy cards from your discard into your hand. Don't you have like fire crystals? Does 3?
Yeah, fire
Okay,
crystals.
so that's not really necessary. And then for 3 fire, 100 damage, discard an energy from this Pokemon, then discard an energy from your opponent's active. It only does 100.
The only downside that I see from it, like, it's doing 100 damage for it.
Right.
So because it's doing 100 damage for like a 3-card attack, it's discarding both your energy and your opponent's energy. So like.
Is that good enough?
No.
I mean,
really,
you got
but
Blacephalon.
it is a basic. But like.
Blacephalon's a basic, and it does 3 fire.
And Blacephalon would.
And does 50 per. You have to discard them, right?
You know what? Instead of calling it Blacephalon, we might call it Bloom Face Man.
Yeah, Blue Faceon. Yeah.
Bloom
Okay, so I don't really like that attack.
Nah.
The retreat cost is fine, but it doesn't have enough hit points really to stand up to a hit. So I don't see any reason to play Torkoal, do you?
No, not really.
Alright, your turn.
So Sneasel. Water Pokemon, 70 hit points. Basic Pokemon, agility 10. Flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. Pretty reasonable.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Pokemon have that kind of attack.
But it's like.
It's okay for a basic, but it's a dark energy. You see that?
Dark on a water type.
So, do any dark decks have trouble with fire decks? You know, because this would be a weakness attacker.
Oh.
Of course, we're not looking at Weavile yet. Weavile is the evolution, so why don't you check out the Weavile and see if it's
Right.
worth it. Well, the Weavile has 90 hit points, so that's kind of puny, right?
Yeah, but there was also that ability one that went crazy and it had about that same health
Yeah.
point, so like it depends on the attacks.
It does Slash Claw for dark colorless. Like I said,
The only thing that I
against a
could
fire
see
guy,
good-
it does 220, right?
The only thing that I see good about this is that it's retreat cost.
Yeah, that's positive. Yeah, that is a good thing to say.
But everything else, in my opinion, is just like a big no.
All right, so we don't need either one of these, right? All right, we'll mark them out. Tiplo.
Because-
Water
Yeah,
Pokemon does
Tiplo.
60 or has 60 hit points. Water. Good luck getting that on him, right?
Yeah, he's-
80 damage.
Unless, like, if there are some trainer cards that are coming out.
Yeah,
they'll be,
yeah.
like,
I don't know if they
prices.
were creating Aqua Badge or something like that.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. If the defending Pokemon is a basic Pokemon, it can attack during your opponent's next turn. So that's a really good attack,
That's good,
but
but
the cost is ridiculous.
So,
You know,
like,
so
cost, but
this
the
part
attack is good.
is awesome. Is this part that sucks.
There's a lot of basic Pokemon being played. So
Retreat
that's
cost
pretty good.
isn't great either. So
And I'm right
all
here.
right, so Primplup is the stage 1. Water Drip for 1 water, 20 damage. Direct Dive, discard all energy from this Pokemon and do 100 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. You know how much I love this kind of thing.
It's like a big old snipe that
I
can be
love
really handy.
snipes.
So it's a big backup.
But you have to discard all 3 waters, so that's kind of negative. So you have to have a way to get the energy back constantly.
So
It doesn't say how many hit points. Can you read that? Is that 80? It's nothing special. It's just what it is.
I could zoom in. Yeah,
Nothing
but
special really about the retreat cost. And Empoleon would be the stage 2. 160 hit points, so that's pretty good for one price dude, right?
Mhm.
And then for
But it's a stage 2, so rare candies
Yeah,
would be extremely useful.
1 colorless recall, choose an attack from this Pokemon's previous evolutions and use it as this attack.
That seems interesting.
Well, let's think about that. For 1 colorless, so it could be any color. Duh. That's what that means, right? Sorry.
1 second.
So that means
So-
you can do Bubble Hold for 80 damage. Defending Pokemon as a basic can attack during your opponent's next turn for 1 colorless. Now this all of a sudden got good.
This. That's not bad. 1 second.
All right, we have technical difficulties.
I dropped my pen.
This is fantastic, Isaiah,
It truly is. Holy.
because you can do 80
It
and
doesn't say
then
anything about the.
Reshazard
energy
can't. Well, no, the energy requirement is C. So
Well, like you haven't had the same energy as the previous attacks.
no, yeah, it's just going to be 1 water. So you could put a grass on this thing and you'd be okay. Not that you would,
Like
but
what I'm thinking is, due to judging rules and all, you would probably have to have that evolution before. So
right. So the
candy-
rare candy wouldn't allow you to get into Primplup's attacks, but it
But,
still
like-
would let you do that 80 and
But
block
if you
the
are
basic.
able to do it, it's really gonna be candy.
Right.
Because what you're able to do there is, what's gonna happen is you can discard 1 water energy and do 100 to 1 bench.
That's pretty
That's
fantastic.
fantastic. So this big old chain right here,
Yeah, all 3 of those guys.
amazing. The
Yeah, so let's highlight these as a. We definitely want to try this as a deck. Because
This is gonna be amazing. What-
I think that, yeah, I don't know about amazing. Amazing's kind of strong.
yeah, but
but-
it is pretty good.
I think that has potential with the lack of Lysander, lack of Guzma. Being able to snipe the bench is pretty awesome. Being able to stop Pikarom, Reshazard, you know, the new Braixen fellow that's going to come out, you know.
And this person is translating all this. Thank you
Right.
so much, because you're being able to help us
Yeah,
make videos on the leaks and all.
yeah. Okay.
So if you're watching this, thank you very much.
Okay.
I doubt it though.
All right, so you go on to the next guy here. We've decided Empoleon's pretty good.
10 pull. Flare around. 1 energy. 10 times damage, flip 3 coins, so it does 30 for every head you get. Retreat cost 1, resistance none, but it's
Yeah.
weak, so like.
Well, yeah, water's usually weak to grass.
I'll put it like as
There's nothing.
yellow as a map.
I think Temple has an
Red as a-
evolution that might be down in the maybe in the fighting section.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I'm just gonna write like put it
So
in dark
we're
yellow.
gonna.
Like and like circle in dark yellow. It might be good.
Okay, we'll hold off on reserving judgment there. All right, Wishy Washy, 180 hit points, non-GX, so 1 prize card.
Okay, so
If this Pokemon has any damage counters on it, flip a coin at the end of your opponent's turn. If tails, shuffle this Pokemon and all of its cards back into your deck.
But I'm confused.
Okay.
So what like this is question on judging and all that as well for it. So because like the end of the turn, the damage is going to be applied after it.
Oh.
It's during it. So
This would be.
if it gets knocked out, you can't use the ability.
Oh wow.
I just had that question. Like it's just
At the end of your opponent's turn. Okay, so what happens?
If we're gonna have to start up a rulebook thing here, I'm very sorry.
Yeah, well, no, it's a good question. I mean, they do 190 points of damage to you. You're knocked out. You have to promote a new one, and then it's the end of your turn. So, if it goes over the 180, you're knocked out. But if they do 170, you flip the coin,
And you can
just shuffle back in.
Okay,
So you could just put 6 of these on. Well, not 6 of them, but you know what I mean. 170, you put it back in. You have 4 of these, and you can just mill them out by them not being able to knock you out. Of course, the problem with that idea
is like it's gonna be close.
People are still gonna hit you for 230 with Reshazard.
Yeah, but they're weak to you. If you see what I'm talking about.
They're weak to you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that this deck would be, or this card would be the sort of deck that you would attack with.
I'm gonna say this has like a no.
We don't really do mill decks anymore, so yeah, I'm with you. Let's mark this one off. Let's see, there we go.
I'm marking it off with red.
All right, now you get Dewpider and Araquanid.
Yeah, Dewpider, basic Pokemon. Those are cool. Rare, 2 colors energies, does 20 damage. Not that good, but it's
kind of a normal.
1 energy per 10 damage. We'll say that.
That's terrible.
Yeah, not good. So I'm just gonna. Whoop. Nope.
Yeah, we'll say no to that. No
Wave
to the other
Splash.
one. Yeah, it's 40.
$40. 40.
All right, so what about Araquanid?
Head Strike, 2 energy. Does 20 damage, reasonable, but not.
20 per energy attachment's not really that great.
Watercolors colors 80 damage during your next turn. Any damage done to the defending Pokemon. Oh, so right there you're having them like next turn you would be hitting 140.
But it's not the same thing as one of those attacks that say, you know, during your next turn this attack does 60 more. It'd be any
effects
Pokemon.
of attacks when that Pokemon retreats.
Yeah, that would go away.
So you have to use Liquidation or Head Strike.
Well, of course.
In order to get the boost.
Well, no, I mean, as long as they don't retreat, you know, you can come up with, I don't know, Wishy Washy or Trimplup or somebody like that, and it doesn't matter which one you're using, their attacks are going to do 60 more.
Yes.
Anyway, getting to it, it's 2 energy attachments, water, and then triple acceleration.
It's a mess.
It's not good enough to play, so let's mark it out. Yeah. Okay. Pikachu.
This is what.
Oh, you want to read these?
Yes.
Okay. Well, go through Raichu. I'm excited about this one.
Pikachu, Lightning, 7 hit points, 78. Basic Pokemon. That's nice.
Flip a coin.
If that's your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed, that's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a normal. It's Nuzzle.
It's normal. Nuzzle.
What do we know about Nuzzle? This is the important part of
Very
it.
electric from electric Pokemon. They'll shock you.
Right, but
It's.
do you remember who's out there that helps Nuzzle?
Molga.
Emolga, yeah, that allows you to go in and get it. And
Play down to the bench.
Pachirisu. Snuggly Generator. Do you remember Snuggly Generation? You 1 energy, And for everyone on your bench that has Nuzzle, you go into your deck, get an energy, and attach it to your bench guy who has Nuzzle. But read Raichu.
This
is the thing. This is the thing we were missing. Go ahead.
Nuzzle, flip a coin if that's so you can get that from that Emolga.
Emolga is your way to get him out of the deck.
And so here it's doing 20 damage times 20 damage. What is attack does 20 damage times the amount of electric energy attached to your Pokemon. So if you have 5 electric, like it's out on the field.
Right.
So that means if you have like 10, which Pikarom decks will.
Pikarom. Let's not talk about Pikarom.
Like I'm
Think
trying
about
to, like,
this as its own thing.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to think about like a cool.
But yeah.
But
You
powerful.
could certainly put a 1/1 in there.
Yeah, especially like if you're running Pikarom.
Yeah.
Because like you accelerate energy fast with that deck, and
Sure.
this
So
right here just gives you more damage.
if you got
to
3 on
like,
Pikarom and 3 on what's that other guy? Choo Choo.
this is good for Keldeo decks.
Kelly. Oh, right. It
If
would
you
help
add
you
it
take
with-
care of a Keldeo.
If you had it with Pikarom, so I think this would be a good combo with Pikarom.
Now,
Back to
wait to be enlightened, my son. Okay, here we go. Pachirisu, Emolga. So, let's say you start Pachirisu, you get an Emolga out of your deck with a Pokemon Communication or something like that. You go get another Emolga. You go get another Emolga. You go get a Pikachu. Or you go get another Emolga. You got 4 of them now, right? So 4 times each turn you're going to go get a Pokemon that has Nuzzle. You put a Pikachu on your bench, or maybe another Pachirisu, right? Because they have Nuzzle too. Energy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That first turn, right? You promote the next. That one gets knocked out. You promote the next Pachirisu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now your Pikachu or your Raichu is hitting for 200 damage.
that's crazy.
Yes.
200.
There's no cap here, so
There's no cap. That's
if you
awesome.
can get the energy on the field, which if you run, I don't know, 25 of them or something like that,
Why? Like a theme deck.
because you could keep pulling them with the Pachirisu, and then you've got this guy, and he can wallop anybody for if you can get the energy on the field.
I'm trying to think of fast.
This is a deck. This is going to be fantastic. This
So-
is, remember Raichu GX?
Yes.
Was it Raichu or was it a low one Raichu? I
Um,
can't remember.
Choo-choo?
No, the one back from. Anyway, not important.
I don't think
That's
that's
what
standard.
this deck was supposed to be, but now it's only one prize.
So I've highlighted the whole circle
Yeah,
green.
I am so in on this, it ain't even funny. This
I'm
is my
probably
kind of
gonna
deck. Yeah, well, and I'd love for you to play something like this. It's going to be a budget deck,
That's good.
but it should be relatively reliable with Emolga being your engine because you're going to be able to get the Raichus, the
If you want-
evolutions
If
out.
you want your deck to be shiny, get holo versions of these,
Sure.
get holo Pokemon, and get secret rare energy. That's one way to cap out your deck and maximum flex.
Alright, so moving on. Magnemite, 60 hit point, 1 lightning, 10 damage. If the defending Pokemon tries to attack during your next turn, opponent flips a coin. If it tails, it does nothing. So basically Nuzzle, right? It could stop them from doing something. Magneton, ability beacon. Once during your turn, you may choose up to 3 supporter cards from your deck, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This Pokemon is knocked out. Woo! Excuse me, I'm sorry, that was probably loud.
So I have
So,
something.
The good part of that is going to get the supporters.
Like,
That means if you're stuck,
this is going to be
You can
good.
go get
'cause you can
Surge.
that's what I was thinking. You go get Surge. If you're running a fire deck, this is going to be good
What's it?
self-destruct for like welders.
oh my goodness, yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right, I was thinking lightning decks, but you're definitely going to be able to use this
Like a
as an accelerant
holy cow, that's good.
in a fire
It's like,
deck.
you can go ahead with it. You self-destruct. Like one prize, you get your Surge for the turn. You
Mhm.
play it down,
And you double welder.
and you either get 1 welder and a greens.
Well, you can't use the greens with the ability. So this would be the ability version of your fire deck.
Ability version 5.
So you'd be able to go in and get
Why couldn't you use
greens.
Greens.
Greens doesn't work if you got an ability on the field. Granted, this ability would go away, but if you're playing one, you're probably playing more. So, you know.
I mean, not playing back on the field though. Like you could just have the basics out,
Yeah.
and you had those in hand, and you could go pow, get your stuffs.
Okay, well, so we think this is kind of good.
Pretty good.
And if you're playing it in a tag team deck, you know, it's one prize card, so, you know, it doesn't really mess up your prize trade any. So, yeah, we might be interested in playing with this one.
Like, so blue's gonna be interesting. This is
Yeah.
gonna be a really good accelerator, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. You get Soldaleo and Lunala GX.
Ooh, that's pretty hard, in my opinion.
I like it, yes. It's got Lily on it. Look.
Yeah. Tactics, to be exact. Basic
Okay.
Pokemon, Tactic. Psychic Colorless, 4 energies.
Okay.
Cosmic Burn, 230, can't use it during your next turn. So that's pretty expensive though.
That's the problem with this, yeah.
Yeah, pretty expensive.
How do you get all
so
that psychic energy out? I mean, even with Malamar,
Malamar
4 is
accelerates
a
it,
lot
but-
to ask.
Mhm.
But you are doing 230, so maybe you run it as a one copy.
One of, so
What
like,
about the GX? What's the GX do?
the GX attack? 1 second, sorry. The GX attack, Psychic Colorless, and a plus symbol at the end, so that's gonna be interesting. Let's read it. Light of the Goddess, 200 damage. If you played Lily's best effort from your hand during this turn, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage done to each of your Pokemon.
Damage to each of your Pokemon.
Each.
So that's pretty good GX attack. It protects anything that gets pulled into the active, basically.
I have a genuine question on this because
But it only does 200, so it
are
doesn't
they gonna
necessarily
change
knock
up
out
the
something.
rolling on this because of it?
What is
Because like, if that gets like retreated off the board,
The effect is done to each of your Pokemon, so
I just have a genuine
doesn't matter.
question about that.
if the retreat happens.
But the effect comes from this. When that
Right.
Pokemon's effect go away
Consider it being done
to the whole
globally
field, so
to
that
your
means
field.
they all have
Yeah.
the effect.
right. So it's
I just want to
okay.
make sure that's clear on that information.
We have to see what Lily's best effort is. I don't know what that is yet. I'm assuming it's at the bottom of this list.
Probably
Okay.
coming
So
to part 3, maybe.
we'll hold
next week.
we'll hold off on deciding whether that's good or not.
I'm just gonna circle it in black.
Okay. Coughing. 60 hit point ability blast bomb once during your turn. If this Pokemon is discarded by the effect of Roxy, you may put 1 damage counter on each of your opponent's Pokemon. Resolve Roxy's effect first. I'm guessing that that's another supporter here that we're going to have to look at. Wheezing, the same thing. It does 1 if it's discarded by Roxy. Bloom Burst does Psychic and Colorless, 90 damage. Discard this and all cards attached to it. So it totally depends on what Roxy's doing.
Yeah.
So
I
we'll
wouldn't
just
go with
highlight
their
this yellow until we know what Roxy does. We'll have to come back.
Alright.
Alright, how about Natu and Xatu?
Natu, basic Pokemon, Future Sight, 1 second energy. Look at the top 4 cards from either player's deck,
Okay.
and return them to the top of that deck in any order.
So it's
So,
Hiker, the
That's
supporter. It doesn't really do
It's
anything.
interesting though, in my opinion.
You might be able to dictate
Like-
what your opponent's going to draw.
I'm having a silly idea here.
Okay.
With it, you're able to see like if we're gonna get something they really need next turn from you could being able to see the field. You
If
could
you had
probably
some
end up
kind
in putting like a ditto on top. Or
hand destruction thing like Jesse and James, and you got them down to a no card hand, then you could look at the top 4 and say,
and put like something on last.
yeah, and then find a way to discard from the top of the deck. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a hard strategy to pull off, but it's a strategy. Okay, so what about Xatu?
Xatu, 60 hit points. Whoops, my bad. 80.
Okay.
I read not this stuff. Evolves from Xatu. I'm gonna swim. Your opponent's active Pokemon is not confused, so confusion.
Okay.
It
Or
does
Psychic,
confusion
that's
for
fine.
Psychic Colorless, Life Drain. Flip a coin. If heads, put damage cards on your opponent's active Pokemon. So its remaining health is 10. Shrine of Punishment. That's going to be good with this.
And for a Psychic Colorless, you can Malamar, only have one Malamar on the field, and be able to do this. It's too bad we don't have Victini anymore.
Sad.
You know, but I mean, it's good. If Victini ever comes back around, then
Probably.
you know.
Expanded.
So hey, this is a deck. We just don't know if we can play it because there's no Victini. You know, keep it in mind if we ever get something that manipulates coin flips. Ralts, 60 hit point. We can teleport. We can ram. Curlia does hypnosis, which puts them to sleep for colorless. So that's kind of nice.
Colors, 20 damage.
Glade is 160, so that's a big deal. That's healthy hit points for a one prize attacker. Double type, as long as this is in play, it's a psychic and a fighting.
Return of Steam Siege cards?
Right, but it's an ability.
Steam Siege was really good.
It was cool how they split the card in half. Anyway, Power Cyclone, double colorless 120, moving energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. So, yeah, this is going to one-shot Pikarom.
That's...
Because it's fighting.
That's good. I'm gonna help.
Yes, I mean, I don't like stage 2s. But
rare candies.
Yeah, you got rare candy, but I mean, the energy cost is good. And the attack is okay if your opponent is weak to psychic or fighting. You know, so I don't know. It could be okay. It falls in the yellow category. It could be okay if you wanted to make it work hard enough. You could probably make it work.
Nikolai.
All right. What about my boy Mimikyu?
Mimikyu, second Pokemon, 7 hit points. Impersonate, 1 colorless. Discard a supported card from your hand. Then use the effect of that supported card as an effect on this attack.
So you kind of get to use 2 supporters.
Per turn, that's nice.
But, you know, I guess you could use Blue's Tactics.
I'm not really going to be that useful though.
No, I agree. But it would be...
Because they could still
okay.
Steam you.
Yeah. Okay, so it's kind of dumb. Alright, so what's the other attack here?
Mischievous Hands. Put 2 damage cards on 2 of your opponent's Pokemon each. So that means 20-20.
So you do 20 to 2 for 1 psychic. That's okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad.
I just thought this set would come out in 2020. For a second there, because 20 damage.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Wordplay.
Okay, so, you know, it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Well, it is yellow Pokemon.
Alright, Onyx is 110 hit points as a basic, that's good. We know there's an evolution Steelix, right? So that's something to look forward to. Retreat cost of 4 means Buff Padding's live and Pokemaniac is live. For colorless, did put an energy from your discard into your hand, so that's worthless. Tail Smash does 100, flip a coin. This attack does nothing. Well, so those attacks are both garbage. But it does have. We have to look at Steelix to see whether or not this is any good. We'll get there in the metal types here in a bit.
Sorry?
Drillbur.
Drillbur, fighting. 70 hit points. Ancient Origins, right? Because that, like...
Shuffle a card back into your deck. Oh yeah, Bunnelby used to do that, didn't he?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, that was useful.
Mud Slap.
But it also had the mill. Plus it could attack twice in a turn. So
Mud Slap.
Does 10, so that's kind of worthless. Okay. What about Excadrill?
Excadrill.
140, that's good.
Whew.
Okay, 11th hour tackle. 30 plus. If you have 3 or fewer cards in your deck, it does 150 more, so 180 for a single fighting.
So if you're playing against a middle deck, this is like a last resort.
Right. I'm guessing somebody somewhere is going to be able to make a deck out of this, where you just purge your deck of everything and you get down and you can just, you know...
but it's scary.
And you... Well, yeah, but if you had, I guess, things like resource management or Rangaroo, they're probably going to use that.
Like, it's scary when it gets down there because
You know,
like, they can mill you out
there are
some
some
way
decks.
somehow.
Yeah, there are some decks that, you know, they can just recycle those last few cards. I don't know. I don't like it. It's too hard for my little brain.
Bazooka, 120 damage, discard the top 4 cards from your deck.
It's too much for me.
So,
Palpitoad. Okay, so this is your Tempole evolution that we were talking about earlier. Mini Earthquake for single fighting does 60 and 10 damage to each of your bench. Not great, but
it does it to your bench, not theirs, so that's not good.
Seismitoad is the next evolution. It looks like it got cut off on my screen. What's it do?
It does ability smooth over once your turn before you attack. You may search your deck for a card, shuffle your deck, then put that card on top of it.
So that's Matt Cargo's ability.
That's
I like that ability.
But it's a stage 2.
It is a stage 2. But that's
So
the sort of ability that will help you get other stage 2s into play.
Stage 2.
What about the attack?
Attack. Fighting colors.
So triple acceleration energies at play there.
Tremor Fist. 80 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage for each of your bench. Don't really have any damage on each other. So Rainbow Energy.
Rainbow and Mini Earthquake. You do 60 plus 10 to all your bench. So let's say maximum you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 150.
150
Plus the 80 is 230.
That knocks out a lot of things.
And technically it's two attachments with the triple acceleration, since
Well,
you should be able to get that with smooth over.
It's stage 2.
But that with what's the bird that helps you draw cards?
Bird.
Pidgeotto. You know, that could be a thing. So
Woo.
if you like stage 2s, I do not.
So I'm gonna
remember,
like this in black.
yeah, I mean it's probably not for us, but
But the ability is.
there's somebody out there I'm sure that will enjoy it.
Yes.
Steelix, okay, this is our evolution for Onyx. Let's see, 170 stage 1, so that's good. 50 times you may discard any number of Pokemon from your hand that have a retreat cost of 4. Does 50 for each card discarded this way. So, Pokemaniac. You run this with a whole bunch of retreat cost 4 Pokemon. It's only a double colorless, so you can welder it to get it going, right? And it does 50 times, so if you have 5 in your hand, you go chuck, 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 that's 250. With Pokemaniac, you know you're going to get 3. Brock's Grit gets you the Pokemon back into your deck. Iron Tail, Metal, triple colorless, does 100, flip a coin until you get tails. It does 100 per heads you get.
What I'm wanting to do here is just let you do it because you're doing a better job describing this enemy.
Well, we're going to work together because I need your input.
Clefairy, baby Pokemon.
Well, what about Steelix's other attack? Again, it goes to that coin.
Times damage from Tortilida's tails.
So I like the first attack there.
Since you like Licky Licky, I think you're gonna like this.
Oh, right. Well, with Licky Licky, that would be some of your retreat cost 4 Pokemon. And you could use it as a alternate attacker.
So I'm gonna highlight this one.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's okay.
Because it's
I mean, I could see somebody running it. Clefairy, you want me to do the reading and you just provide the insight?
Yeah.
Okay. Clefairy, 50 hit point Pokemon, triple colorless. Doll transformation does 60 damage. Return this Pokemon and all cards attached to it to your hand. Then you may play a Clefairy's doll from your hand as your active. I don't know what Clefairy's doll is. So again, we're going to hold off on any judgment on that. It's really weak on the hit points.
I'm just gonna
The
like
retreat cost is kind of good. And the attack kind of seems interesting, but I don't know what Clefairy's doll. Does Clefairy evolve into anything?
Clefairy, Clefable. No. Is that Clefable before one?
I don't know. It's not here.
Igglybuff. No.
Yeah, okay, so we didn't see it. It's not listed here. Reshiram Zekrom, Dragon type, 270. This is one you're gonna like. Fire Lightning, Thunder Flame Dream. 90 damage, discard up to 3 basic fire and lightning from your bench Pokemon, this attack does 90 damage each card discarded this way. How much damage is that?
Depending on how many you discard.
Well, if you do the whole thing.
It's 90 times, so max was 270.
And that knocks about everything, doesn't it? There's a couple 280s running around, there's a couple 300s running around. But baby Naganadel
I have an idea for this.
gets the energy back from the discard every turn.
Yes,
So you could set up 3 of those and
you also have fiery flint.
You can weld her, you can even Tapu Koko with the,
Yeah, you could.
So there are multiple ways to get the energy on this dude. And like I said, you got Naganadel that's going to get your energy back every time. This card, unfortunately, it's fantastic. There are going to be a lot of people playing that. So yeah, we need to find a fairy deck that can beat up on the dragon. What's the GX do? Okay, Crossbreak GX does 170 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, so it takes care of a Dedenne. If you played Ends Resolve from your hand during this turn, this attack also does 170 to another one of your bench or your opponent's bench Pokemon. So you go 170, 170 for Ends Resolve. We got to figure out what Ends Resolve does.
It's not going to be on this list.
Yeah, it's going to be in there. We just got to get down to the supporters. Okay, so this is good even before Ends Resolve. Lillipup, go ahead.
Colors, 16 hit points. Not a lot of colors. Pokemon aren't interesting. That's just my opinion. Please don't hate me for that. I know there are pretty some good ones.
Pidgeotto.
Okay, goodness, I get it.
Okay, you get it. Go ahead.
Lillipup, color, 60 hit points. Basic Pokemon, Baby Doll Eyes. Your opponent can retreat next turn. And it's a colorless. Tackle, 40 damage for 300 feet.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so their attacks are bad. Herdier evolves from something that we're not supposed to see. Why do they do that to me? Oh, come on now. Y'all gotta do better than that.
It's a typo. You gotta be
That's
kidding
not a
me.
typo. That's very intentional. It would have been something if it was Lily Poop, but come on. It's a children's card game. You know you got children reading your page. And you got people with childish minds reading your page. Okay, work up. During your next turn, this Pokemon's attack does 60 more damage to your opponent's active. So that's the thing that we were talking about earlier, where it's only that Pokemon that's going to get the benefit. That's garbage. You never want to be doing 120 over 2 turns. That's not good enough. Stoutland would be the final evolution. Has an ability. Once during your turn, before your attack, when you play this card from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, boop, you may discard an energy from your opponent's active. If this Pokemon is your active and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, you may discard an energy from your opponent's active. So that's okay. I mean, it's a guaranteed hammer. So you run this with Faba and Crushing Hammers.
I like to stand up a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, you just won't be seen. Well, you'll be seen now, but when your head gets cut off, that's, you know.
I'm T-Rex.
All right, yeah, a headless 10-year-old. Okay, so I don't see. Oops.
I'm gonna highlight this in black.
Yeah, I'm not a keen guy for the whole stage 2 thing, and I don't think that just discarding energy is good enough. Plus the other evolutions were bad.
So,
Oh, Titanol Savali GX, please go ahead.
Titanol, basic Pokemon, Air Slash for 2 energy.
All right. Plus you got the other attack, the Z Crystal thing from a few sets ago. It's got good hit points for basic.
Yes, it does. Savali GX evolves from Titanol.
Okay.
Ability Disc Reload. Once in your turn before you attack, you may drop cards from your deck until you have 5 cards in your hand.
Who did this? Abyssal Hand. Octillery.
Oh my
Right?
goodness, Artillery's making a comeback. Reprint it, please.
Well, they just did. There it is.
Kind
It's
of.
210 hit points and it's a stage 1, so it's the same thing. What's...
Buddy Break.
Yeah, go ahead.
It does 50 plus damage. If you play the supporter card from your hand during your turn, this attack does 70 more damage. But it says from during your turn. There's nothing that I know of that will play it down. And that
If you play a supporter this turn, so
is there going to be something
if you
that
play Cynthia,
forces you to
you've
play
got
something?
100. Well, no, but I mean, you're going to want to play one every turn, right? I mean,
An energy
usually,
and
and you're going to draw to fill your hand up, and then you're going to play Judge. You're going to fill your hand back up,
Yeah.
or something like that. Plus the disc, memory, whatever you call them. So you're doing 120, right? 50 plus 70, plus the weakness discs.
That's good.
So I don't remember what weakness discs are still alive. I think water's still good. So even for the ability alone, this is fantastic.
So I'm just going to
But
highlight the Pokemon for you.
the welder, to get Buddy Brave going, that also activates your supporter card for the turn. What's the GX do?
The GX, White Knight GX. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, that Pokemon is knocked out. You cannot use more. So it's like no damage, but like if it's an Ultra Beast.
Yeah, Blacephalon's gone. Yeah. If it's
When your
whatever the
opponent's-
jet punched guy is gone. Alright, go ahead. Okay, so that one's not bad. I like Silvally a lot. Titanol's pretty good. Oh, look, we're already to the tools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let's power through these real quick. Lana's Fishing Rod. Shuffle one Pokemon and one tool back to your discard, from your discard pile to your deck. So my boy Malamar loves this. You get your spell tags back, and you get a Pokemon back.
You now have a
So-
very fossil doll thingy.
That's good.
Next.
We'll highlight. You'll definitely want to have a few copies of that. Lily's Clefairy. Okay, so the 3 colorless, and you could replace the Clefairy with this. Play this card as if it were a 30 hit point colorless basic Pokemon. So it's kind of like unidentified fossil. Anytime during your turn, you may put this on the bottom of your deck. Discard all cards attached to it. Card cannot retreat if it is knocked out. They can't take prizes. All right, so there's the gimmick. You do 60. You put everything back in your hand.
Wait
You put
a
this
second.
out there,
I have an idea.
and they can't take a prize card.
Earthquake stuff that does damage to your bench.
Mm.
This
Yeah.
would be good for that because your opponent can't profit prizes. So that's a good combo with it. But
Yeah. Basically, you're not going to give up a prize card getting rid of this.
I could highlight it in yellow because it's good for certain decks.
But yeah, the triple colorless attack cost on Clefairy is kind of expensive. I don't see how you're going to be able to power that up every turn,
Can you
because
power
it's a
through
basic.
those?
It's not a stage 1. You can't use triple acceleration energy. All right, so I don't really see the point of this, which means I don't really see the point of the doll. Will, after playing this card the first time, you flip a coin for the effect of a trainer card ability or an attack. You choose whether or not it's heads or tails. Now please go up and reread Zatu.
This is kind of
Go, reread it. Unless you've forgotten, or unless you remember what it says. Was it Zatu? Pretty sure it
zoom
was.
out. Flip a coin. If heads, put damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon until its remaining thing this time.
After playing this card, the first time you flip a coin on the effect of an attack during this turn, you may choose to make the result heads or tails. So, your 270 hit point Pokemon just now has a whopping 10, which means Shrine of Punishment.
Guess what? Shrine of Punishment's gonna kill you.
So, yeah, we're coming for all your tag teams with that card and Zatu.
You're dead.
Yeah.
If you play up against this deck and you run
Yeah,
GXs,
well, I mean, you're going to have Malamar. So, yeah, basically what we need is an alternate attacker that'll help you deal with non-GX decks.
so if you're playing a GX deck, beware of us. We're gonna come down and beat your. Well, that's messed up.
I'm not going to beat anybody.
Well, we're just gonna show you what.
I'll
decks
shake
go.
your hand and tell you good game,
Just
as
cut
soon as
that
you,
part out of what I said, please.
yeah, I'll bleep it. That way it makes it sound like you're cussing.
No.
That'll be
Just
funny.
cut it out.
Okay. Ends resolved. This is the one that went with the dragon. Was it the dragon? Help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the dragon type that the Zekrom and Reshiram. Discard the top 6 cards of your deck. Attach all basic energy discarded this way to one of your bench dragon Pokemon.
Don't forget about Smooth Over. The ability there.
Right. Right. So the attack was fire, fire, lightning, lightning, and you did
Pokemon
170.
that was able for you to choose the top 4 cards of your deck and put them in the order, so that you could see if you need to play them or not.
Well, Hiker. No, Hiker. You wouldn't want to do Hiker. But okay, so regardless, this allows you to do the extra 170 using the snipe attack, and it helps you accelerate energy. It discards the top 6, so yeah, I'd like to have a way to make sure that there's some on the top, but okay. Okay, so it's going to be played. People are going to try it at the very least. Roxy. Okay, this went with Wheezing. This thing is not one to move. Discard up to 2 Pokemon cards from your hand, excluding GXs, EXs. For each card, draw 3 from your deck. Oh, so this is the Ultra Recon squad. Discard a Pokemon, draw 3. But you can do 2, so it would be 6 total cards you're drawing. And if you're using Wheezing or
I'm gonna highlight
Coughing,
this.
it does 1 damage to all of your opponent's Pokemon.
Ish a blue.
So Roxy goes in our Zatu deck. Alright, so what's going to happen? You're going to do, you don't have Shrine of Punishment out, okay? You play Will, you dictate that you're going to get a heads, you knock them down to 10 hit points, what are they going to do? They're going to retreat. Alright, so they retreat, you Roxy, discard the Wheezing, Bob's your uncle, and they're knocked out. Paul's your uncle, Doug's your uncle. Bob, we don't have any Bobs in the family. Okay, so yes, this is good enough for me to play.
Clay.
No, we gotta do Rosa first. Quit jumping ahead.
Nobody cares about
We got 3 more cards to go. And you're done.
Don't forget about the secret rares. They look good.
Okay, well, we'll look at them, but... Alright, do it.
Rosa. You can only play this card if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. Search your deck for a Pokemon trainer or basic energy, reveal them, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck.
Okay, that's stupid.
So it's a Pokemon trainer and basic energy. First putter.
With Empoleon, your Primplup gets knocked out.
How can you remember all of this?
I love Pokemon. Why don't you love Pokemon? Okay.
It's just that I have a bad memory, okay?
Alright, so Priplup's out there, you got another Priplup on the bench, right? Priplup gets knocked out, you play Rosa, right? You go get your Empoleon, you go get your Rare Candy, and your Energy, and your other one's ready to go. And now, hit them for 80, they can't attack you.
I'm taller than you now.
Yeah, I'm short, that's alright. This, my friends, is fantastic.
It's because your chair's shorter.
Especially for 1 prize decks. I mean, because you can go get whatever. This might make stage 2s playable. Because you can guarantee your Rare Candy.
Ooh.
You play your Pokegears. Be able to get this out. Oh, quit being so goofy. Alright. You can be as goofy as you like. Clay. You wanted to read Clay. So sit down and read Clay. We're almost done.
Clay is... Oh, I thought it was like the second one. My bad. Discard the top 7 cards of your deck. Reveal all item cards discarding this way to your opponent. Then put them in your hand.
Why would you want to do that?
I misread it, okay?
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to think.
Why would you want to do that?
There's got to be an application for it, but I can't.
Because, like, there might be something that relies Well, first of all, we know it's not going to help Rotom at all.
No, yeah, it's totally the opposite of Rotom.
I don't know then. I'm going to cross this one out in black.
Someone tells me there'll be an application for it. It's just not. We're not
yet.
sure what it is, so it's something to remember. Lily's best effort: draw 4 cards from your deck. If you have 3 or more cards at the end of your turn, shuffle cards into your deck until you only have 2 remaining. But this is the thing that triggered Solgaleo GX's, Lunala GX's extra tag teamy GX deck, which I've forgotten what it does. Oh, it prevented all damage from everybody on your field to everyone on during the next turn. Draw 4 from your deck. Draw 4 is good.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Well, you can finish this up, okay?
I actually have to go to the bathroom.
Well, that's fine.
Okay.
Your eyes aren't quite yellow yet. You'll be alright.
I don't think human eyes can turn yellow.
Sure they can. You got a pee bad enough.
That would peek out to your brain. It would kill you, right?
Your tears would sting, that's for sure.
Yeah,
If you have 3 or more... Where are you going? I need you to help me say bye to these people.
I'm just like, awkward conversation. I'm not here.
Yeah, well, we'll probably bleep that out too.
Hey! Stop making it seem like I'm cussing. I'm a promise.
I'm a beep, 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 beep. If you have 3 or more cards, so you got to go down to 2. But if you're playing this with Silvally, it's not a problem. You can just redraw. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that draw 4 is good. If you were playing this with Silvally, then the ability. Will you please stop?
I'm seriously though. It smells like.
Well, okay. You wanted to look at the secret rare, so let's look at the secret rare.
So this
Triplo.
is interesting.
Okay,
something
so I
new
like that.
called CHR cards. This could stand for character,
Or
come
common.
holo rare, or something else.
It's pretty awesome looking. Yeah, in our Empoleon deck, I'll play that. Yeah, I want some of them.
Yeah.
Mimikyu, I always
Character
want
art
more.
cards.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's not a whole lot of them there. Yeah, there's 2 of them. Mimikyu and Piplup.
Scribbling on
Okay,
paper.
so we have come to the end of Dream League. This one is probably longer, but hopefully it gives you a little more insight into the... You can leave. It's fine. Why don't you tell them bye?
Goodbye, people. I'll see you back next time, maybe.
Yeah, next one.
My dad fires me from this job.
No, I think you made this video better. Lots better.
And please don't censor it out when I said, like, I'm a good kid, I promise.
Alright,
Don't
so
censor that
do
out,
it
please.
again? Okay, got it.
No!
Well,
Let's stop the recording.
you want to like and subscribe? You need to tell them to like and subscribe.
Do it.
Now I can see up your nostril. I hope you have. Alright, we've lost it. We've jumped the shark. See you guys later. Next video. Bye-bye.